may look as though all the stars are close together in space, but they're not. There's so much space that it takes light 100,000 years just to travel across our galaxy, the Milky Way. So each star has plenty of room. This is showing us Earth's closest stars in this diagram. Here's Earth, this little tiny dot right here, and there's the sun. And then there's this long label line, and it says this star is 25 trillion miles away. That's the closest one, aside from the sun. The caption tells us our sun is the closest star to Earth. It's 93 million miles away. This graph shows the stars closest to Earth. So aside from the sun, this one's the closest at 25 trillion miles. Let's read more about the sun. Did you know that our sun is a bright yellow star? It gives us light and warmth. Among many others, the sun spins in the Milky Way. It moves 140 miles each second. How fast is that? The fastest cars move only one tiny part of a mile each second. This text box says a speeding bullet. Our sun moves 300 times faster than a speeding bullet. Earth is moving fast around the sun too, but we do not feel it. It's like when you are driving in a car at a fast speed. Although the car is moving quickly, inside the car, it may feel as if you're not moving at all. The heading on this page says asteroids, comets, and meteors. So I know that everything that I'm reading here is going to be about this topic. I guess this diagram is also showing me all about asteroids, comets, and meteors. Here's an asteroid belt they labeled, along with some of the other planets, so Earth and Mars and Jupiter, and then the sun in the middle. Asteroids are oddly shaped rocks or piles of gravel. So I can see them in this picture here. They orbit the sun like planets do. What does orbit mean? Well, orbit is in this text box. It says to orbit is to move in a circular path around an object. So I guess orbit just means to move like this in a circular path. Millions of asteroids orbit together in the asteroid belt, right here, between Mars and Jupiter. Others orbit closer to Earth and sometimes smash into it. Comets look like bright balls with long tails. They are made of frozen gases and dust. When a comet nears the sun, its outer layers become a vapor tail. So I can see in this picture that here's my comet, and then this is the vapor tail right here. I guess because it used to be frozen gases and dust, and since it's getting close to the sun, I'm assuming that they're probably starting to vaporize and become that vapor tail. This text box says vapor is the gas form of something instead of its liquid or solid state. Vapor can be created because of heat. A comet's vapor tail is formed because heat from the sun turns it into vapor. How long? A comet's tail is millions and millions of miles long. Wow, that's a really long tail. Meteors are stones that fall from space toward Earth. Most of the time, they are part of comets or asteroids. They usually burn up on their way to Earth. If they reach Earth, we call them meteorites. I'm not reading every page in this book because you have it in your mailbox and you can look back at it later, but I did want to point out some of the text features and important parts. This heading says, People and Outer Space. People have changed space by sending things into it. We have sent satellites and space stations into orbit. We have flown rockets to the moon. We have even sent probes into deep, deep space to take pictures of things. Here's a text box that shows satellites are objects in space that orbit other larger objects. So I guess this must be a picture of a satellite. Maybe one day we will fly out of the solar system. Maybe we will travel to other galaxies. Long ago, people never imagined traveling into space, but today we can. Who knows how far we will go in the future? And I see a picture of an astronaut here. So that relates to this heading up here, this topic, people in outer space. So an astronaut is the type of person that studies or works in outer space. Okay, here's that glossary. A glossary is the part of the book, it's found all the way in the back. And just in case you don't know the meanings of some of these words that are really important to this topic, like asteroid, astronomer, billion, comet, galaxy, all of these are really important words in this book about outer space. And I'm noticing that anything bold, satellites, okay, so satellites I could probably find in my glossary. A glossary lists words in alphabetical order. That means they go in the order of the alphabet, A, B, C, D. So if I'm looking for the word satellite, I know it'll be down here. Yep, there it is, satellite. Object in space that orbits another larger object. So a glossary is found in nonfiction texts to help you look up things that you don't know. They're usually marked within the text by using bold print like this. That way you know that that's a word that you could go to the back of the book and find.